I'm Scott Less. We're sitting here with the band Seventh Void. All four members are in the studio. Kenny, Matt, Johnny, and Hank. And Hank, off air, you were talking about that song specifically. Kind of reminded you of the CD release party.
Yeah,
Did that happen in Dallas?
It did. It did. The day the CD came out, Vinny and Paul invited us to the clubhouse. I've heard so many stories about this clubhouse, man, and none of the stories were as good as like the experience. You know, like we're on the stage and we're playing in a nudie bar. It's not just like a little nudie bar. It's like a banging club, you know? Like, we're on stage, there's a bunch of people there, but he brought out like 116 dancers, right? While we're on stage and they're all like watching us. Dude, let me tell you, 116 dancers, that's 232 boobs.
Good.
Very distracting, but
right on the fly like that.
Right when that song came on, man, like all of a sudden, like that do 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 do, like yeah, like these like hips started moving, man. Oh, it was beautiful, man. I like that song a lot more since that day.
I think all of us are going to enjoy it a little bit more just because of that story, Hank. We appreciate that. So here, sitting with the guys from Seventh Void, who are actually going to be playing live tonight with Lacuna Coil. And the lead guitar player from the band, Matt, you've got a pretty extensive history of touring yourself. Like you had said before, touring with Lou Reed.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it started way back, though, in '94. I actually toured with Type O as an opening.
Uranium 235 was the name of the band.
And
all right, okay.
These guys, you know, they took me around the country, and, you know, that was like the seed for the rest of my touring life, you know?
They wore skirts on stage and they got beat up in every southern state.
Only one person got beat up.
Yeah, me. Johnny got beat up too.
Johnny was actually there. That's a whole other story, though.
Well, as a guitar player, what are some of your influences specifically putting together this CD release?
Well, you know what, the thing about this is that it's very, it's a collaborative, you know, effort. So I bounce ideas off of Kenny, and Kenny bounces off of me, and Johnny comes in, you know, like we all kind of bounce off each other. So, you know, the things that I'm into were classic rock, grunge rock, you know, some metal and stuff like that. I'm really into all that stuff. I was really into electronic music, but apparently, you know, it's not on this thing. But all those elements, and all together, we make a sound, and that's what it's really all about.
Do you guys, as you were writing and recording the CD, did it matter what was, you know, popular metal-wise or rock-wise as an influence, or just did what you wanted to do?
I mean, I think we went in trying to write something that we wanted to hear, rather than what everybody else was doing, you know? I mean, I was never really into the new metal movement or any of that stuff, and I really, quite frankly, got sick of it. So I just wanted to hear, what I wanted to do and play in here was a straight-up rock band, you know? That kicks butt.
Right. And that's, I think, what we've got here.
Yeah.
Now, that's got to come from your guys' history and the experience that you guys have had. I mean, you know.
Grew up Black Sabbath, Zeppelin.
And, and I think that you guys being veterans of the rock world, not only recording but touring, gives you guys kind of the freedom to do what you want to do and not what, you know, some suits are telling you.
Yeah, well, that's what it was about. You know what I mean? Also, being in Type O for so many years, you know, Type O is a very complex band, you know, and it's a lot of pressure sometimes. You know what I mean? On stage here, I got like 6 different gain structures. I got to change programs 9 times in one song. 14-minute songs, 16 parts, 3-part harmonies, keyboards. It's brilliant. But, you know, I wanted like a break from it. You know, I want to go on stage with a half stack,
plug in and play,
and one tone, and you know, yeah, just plug in, scream my head off, and play. You know, so it was a lot of it was about that too.
Plus, and you're in the shadow of a 6'8" front man in Type O.
Yeah,
the tallest front man on the planet. Well, I'm digging this track. This is another great track off of the debut release from Seventh Void. I want you to check this one out. This is track number 1 called "Closing In." Seventh Void on the Fox.
That was a good song. You heard that song?
101.7 Fox. Like it a lot. That is "Closing In," Seventh Void. Great sounding track, guys. I'm glad you kicked off the CD with that one. That's one of my personal faves on that. Talking to the guys from Seventh Void, who are going to be playing live tonight with Lacuna Coil and Kill Hannah and Domin. And just a few tickets remain. You can get them at the box office at the Last Day Saloon after 4 o'clock today. Remember, it is a 21 and older show. All 4 of you guys from the New York area, New York City, when you guys... Brooklyn, when you guys look around at the local unsigned rock scene in New York City, what can you tell us? Is there a big scene happening with rock bands coming out of New York? And Not really.
Not that I'm aware of.
Man, what's going on?
Because you guys sit home, man. It's a huge scene.
Well, you tell us, Hank.
Come on, Hank. Tell me all about it.
No, there's a million bands. Like any night, like that's one of the cool things about being in the city is like any night you can go out and there's like dozens of shows with dozens of bands. I mean, most of them suck. They're really bad, you know. But like the point is though that everybody's into it. Everybody loves music and everybody wants to be a part of music, and it's kind of cool to be from New York because like it's an easy place to like be in music. Because like if I lived in like Ohio, right? I'd probably be still sitting in Ohio. I wouldn't have like lived in Brooklyn, wouldn't be able to hook up with like these dudes, you know what I mean? But like there's dudes everywhere, you know? It's just, you know, sifting through all the suck to get to the good is kind of tough. But once you find something, man.
So when you say that, do you mean that there's a lot of New York City bands, or is it a lot of bands just from the East Coast who go to New York City because there's paying gigs up there? Like
Paying gigs?
None of these people are getting paid.
Paying to play.
Wait a second.
There's no paying gigs, and we're not nice to people that aren't local. So I'm just talking about local bands. Yeah, you know, if you're from out of town, stay out, get out of here, go back home, kid.
Yeah, there's hardly anybody from out of town in New York City. Hardly anybody from out of town there. Right. And before I let you guys go, you guys are currently on tour with Lacuna Coil, of course, looking forward to that. No big touring plans for the rest of the year, but looking forward with the project Seventh Void, where do you guys see yourself in a couple of months from now? What is the big plan?
Hopefully back on the bus.
Okay.
You know, because we, you got to ride the wave. The wave starts, you got to ride it. If we sit back, we sit home and do nothing. It's just gonna, it's gonna bottom out. Right. So,
well, thank you guys for coming in today, man. I absolutely appreciate
Thank you for having us.
Really digging into the debut. Make sure you do not miss this show tonight with Seventh Void. Going to be playing live with Lacuna Coil. And here's the track we're loving, man. This is the title track to the new CD. This is Seventh Void and Heaven Is Gone on the Fox.